After overcoming insurmountable odds, I finally dragged our team into the World Championship Finals. We were up 2-0, match point, standing on the precipice of history. That was when our team manager, Vanessa Sterling, decided to bench me. Her replacement of choice, her boy toy, Tyler Vance. My teammates and Coach Miller practically started a riot. I was the franchise player, the shot caller, the engine of this entire roster. You don't swap out the engine when you're doing 200 miles an hour on the final lap. Vanessa planted her hands on her hips, her designer blazer straining as she postured. The owner has given me full operational control for today. I decide the roster, not you. She pointed a manicured finger right in my face. Caleb, I'm warning you. Don't get arrogant. You just got lucky that the current game patch favors your style. If I prove that Tyler can lead this team to a ring just as well as you, don't expect a contract renewal next year. I laughed. It was involuntary. Did she not know that the owner had practically camped out on my front porch for 3 days just to get me to sign with this organization? Excuse me? You're benching me? I nearly knocked my chair over standing up. Vanessa sat across from me, crossing her legs, looking at me with pure disdain. What? Are you refusing a direct order? I was dumbfounded. Meanwhile, in the corner of the player lounge, Tyler Vance stood up, looking entirely too excited. He turned to the other starters, a nervous grin plastered on his face. All right, guys, looks like I'm taking us home for the win. Tyler was my sub. That was his title anyway. When I joined the Seattle Apex, the owner built the roster around me. But after Vanessa joined as general manager, Tyler was brought in. I didn't need a sub. I played every scrim, every match. But Vanessa insisted that a franchise player needed protection from burnout during the grueling regular season. I didn't care back then. Let the kid play the meaningless games against bottom-tier teams. Since I arrived, we went from missing the playoffs to securing the #1 seed. The owner was ecstatic, giving Vanessa more autonomy, telling her to keep me happy. He had no idea she'd brought her boyfriend, or that her ambition was eclipsing her sanity. After a brutal playoff bracket, I had carried us here. We were facing our arch-rivals. 2 games down, 1 to go. I could practically feel the cold metal of the trophy. And now this? Vanessa was briefing Coach Miller on the substitution. The coach looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. Vanessa, Caleb is the absolute core of this team. Every strat we have starts with him. You can't sub him out at match point. We need to step on their throats, not let up. The other 4 players nodded vigorously. Yeah, Caleb's a captain. You don't bench the captain in the finals. Tyler, seeing that nobody was buying his act, immediately switched to his secondary skill, playing the victim. It was his signature move. Whenever things didn't go his way, he'd pout, eyes wide, looking like a kicked puppy. He was small, pale, and had a soft look that usually worked on girls. But the team knew him. We called him Princess behind his back. We weren't buying it. If you guys don't want me, Tyler said, his voice trembling, then Caleb should play. He slumped back into his chair, looking like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. I don't want to ruin the chemistry. Vanessa snapped. She stood up so fast her chair screeched. What is this? A mutiny? Don't forget, the owner put me in charge. Tyler plays. Anyone who has a problem with that can forget about their bonus. And you can expect a suspension next season. I let out a cold laugh. Vanessa, if you're going to force Tyler into the game, give me a valid reason. Everyone knows who's carrying this team. I have 2 MVPs in 2 games. You bench me now, and I'm not going to be quiet about it. Vanessa sneered. Reason? You and Tyler split time in the regular season. Now it's his turn. He's a rookie. He needs experience on the big stage. As a manager, it's my job to develop future talent. Future talent. Please. We rotated in the regular season so I could rest during garbage time. Tyler's gameplay was infamous on Reddit and Twitter. He was a KDA player. He cared about his stats, not the win. He farmed creeps while teammates died. He split-pushed while the enemy took objectives. He let the Nexus explode as long as he had the most gold in the game. But because of Vanessa, he was being groomed as the future. I used to think as long as we won, it didn't matter. But now, with the championship inches away, she was sabotaging us. Coach Miller tried again. This meta requires an aggressive mid laner. Tyler plays too passive. He hasn't scrimmed with the main roster in weeks. Vanessa dismissed him with a wave of her hand. It's 2-0. Who needs tactics? We're playing Protect the President. Feed Tyler all the gold, and at 30 minutes, he'll carry. Tyler, emboldened by his girlfriend, puffed out his chest. That's right. I got this. I roll my eyes. Vanessa was a marketing major who got lucky networking with the club's operations team. She charmed her way up the ladder to GM. Because I delivered wins, the owner thought she was a genius. But saying, it's 2-0, we don't need tactics, proved she knew less about the game than the average Twitch chatter. But she was attractive, knew how to work social media, and had a following. Now, she wanted to hand-deliver the glory to her boyfriend. She wanted Tyler standing on that podium, holding the trophy I earned. If we won, the sponsorships, the fame, the money, it would be astronomical. I cleared my throat, forcing myself to stay calm. The owner was in Europe on business. Vanessa had his ear. I couldn't override her. Coach and the boys looked at me, helpless. I leaned back, putting my hand behind my head. Vanessa, aren't you worried the owner will find out? She scoffed. So what? The goal is to win. If we lift the trophy, who cares how we did it? She leaned in, eyes flashing with challenge. Caleb, you have a max contract. You eat up most of the budget. If I prove we can win without you, guess who gets that bonus money? I almost laughed. Bonus? Keep dreaming. Seeing Vanessa's threats escalate, the team went silent. Nobody wanted to be fired during the finals. The break was over. A production assistant waved from the doorway. The broadcast commentators were already hyping Game 3. We could hear them on the monitor. Wait, they're subbing out Caleb? The guest analyst, pop star and mega fan Lexi Star, looked confused. Why would you bench your MVP? The play-by-play caster tried to cover. Maybe it's a secret pocket pick strategy. They started analyzing the previous games, but the chat room was already melting down. The crowd in the arena realized what was happening as the cameras panned to the players. A chorus of boos erupted, shaking the walls. I sat in the green room, kicked my feet up, and grabbed a bottle of water. I was going to sit here and watch if this team really was the same without me. Beside me, Vanessa was fuming at the crowd's reaction. Let them boo, she muttered. Tyler's going to shut them all up. Seeing me benched, the opposing team, Team Titan, looked like they had just been given a second life. During the draft phase, they locked in an aggressive, high-risk lineup. They knew Tyler. They knew he crumbled under pressure. I smirked internally. The game started. My playstyle was simple. Win the lane, then roam to help the jungler. I created pressure that let my side lanes breathe. But Tyler? 10 minutes in, he was already behind. The side lanes were holding their own, but without my rotation, they were stranded. At the 10-minute mark, the enemy mid laner faked a recall and hid in a bush. Tyler, with zero map awareness, pushed past the river to farm. Typical. He died instantly. But because he'd been farming nonstop, his gold count looked okay. Vanessa smirked at me. See? Tyler's fine. He's ahead in gold. Coach Miller was staring at the screen, sweating. This is bad. We're losing priority. Sure enough, the first dragon spawned. Our jungler was in position, but Tyler was dead. We had to give it up. Is this your definition of fine? Vanessa waved a hand. It's one dragon. Tyler is scaling. I watched the train wreck unfold. Vanessa, the amateur, thought gold meant winning. She didn't understand tempo. The enemy team grouped up and killed Tyler again. He refused to retreat because he wanted one more wave. They took the mid tower, then the second mid tower. Vanessa started yelling. Why aren't the others defending? Are they useless? How can they defend? I asked casually. Tyler has all the team's gold, and he keeps dying. He's the richest corpse on the rift. Vanessa exploded. Shut up. He made one mistake. The enemy team, disciplined and sharp, retreated to clear our jungle. Tyler respawned. Instead of defending the gaping hole in the mid lane, he teleported to the bottom lane to farm a massive wave of minions. This left our base wide open. The enemy set up an ambush around the Baron pit. Our support couldn't ward because we had no map control. Coach Miller was pulling his hair out. Why is he split pushing? I told him, no teleport, no deep push. Vanessa looked nervous but doubled down. It's fine. He's almost got his 5th item. He'll wipe them in the team fight. The enemy took Baron Nashor uncontested. My 4 teammates stood behind the pit wall, watching helplessly. Tyler finished farming, recalled, and bought his item. The casters were sounding desperate. Team Apex is backed into a corner. Tyler Vance needs to be the hero here. Suddenly, Vanessa's phone started buzzing on the table. In the manager's lounge, phones were allowed. I glanced over. The screen was lighting up with Boss. Dozens of missed calls. The owner was watching from Europe. He was seeing his investment go up in flames. Vanessa turned pale. She hesitated, then powered the phone off. I'll prove I'm right with results, she whispered, sounding like she was trying to convince herself. Back in the game, the Titans pushed with the Baron buff. They're ending it, Coach Miller said, his voice hollow. My teammates retreated to the inhibitor turrets. And where was Tyler? While 5 enemies besieged our base, Tyler was top lane, farming. Again, what is he doing? The caster screamed. Our team got dove. 4 versus 5. We lost 3 people instantly. The Titans smashed the inhibitor. Tyler finally recalled, panic bought a defensive item, and ran out of the fountain. He missed his skill shot, got crowd controlled, and evaporated. Defeat. The score was 2-1. The walk back to the green room was a funeral march. Tyler had the most gold and the least damage dealt. His kill participation was abysmal. He slumped into the chair next to Vanessa, looking like a martyr. Vanessa immediately went on the offensive. What was that? Tyler finally got his items. Why did you guys die so fast? You couldn't peel for him. Tyler tugged on her sleeve, giving her the sad eyes. Vanessa, stop. It's my fault. I should have grouped earlier. He sounded rehearsed. Vanessa hugged him, glaring at the rest of us. It's okay, honey. You'll get them next time. Coach Miller couldn't take it anymore. His playstyle doesn't fit. He has zero pressure. We're playing 4v5. Vanessa shot back. We lost one game. He's cold. He's been on the bench because of him. She pointed at me. Give him a chance to warm up. Warm up. Coach Miller sputtered. It's the World Finals. One of my teammates, usually the quiet support player, stood up. Put Caleb back in. The others joined in immediately. Yeah, we need Caleb. Tyler looked at me, tears welling up. Maybe Caleb should play. No. Vanessa shrieked. I said you're playing. I'm not going to look like an idiot. She launched into her speech about her authority again. She controlled the contracts. She controlled the trades. In this industry, job security was rare. She was holding their careers hostage. The break ended. Vanessa submitted the roster for Game 4. Same lineup. I leaned back, closing my eyes. All right, let's watch the ship sink. Game 4 began. The Titans weren't stupid. They saw Tyler was still in, so they picked an even more aggressive lineup to punish him. Coach Miller had practically begged Tyler to pick a safe, utility champion, giving him a pep talk that lasted until the referee kicked him off stage. Why did you make him pick a tank? Vanessa complained. How can he carry with that? We don't need him to carry. Coach Miller snapped. We need him to not die. But it didn't matter. The Titans repeated their strategy. Push the lane, roam, kill the side lanes. Tyler saw them leave mid. He saw them walking toward top, but there was a cannon minion wave. He hesitated. He stayed to farm. By the time he waddled up to the river, our top laner was already dead. The enemy jungler intercepted Tyler in the river and killed him too. It was a massacre. The crowd was getting ugly. They weren't just booing anymore. They were chanting, throw, throw, throw. Security was rushing to the front rows. Lexi Starr, the guest celebrity, dropped her filter. He's griefing his team. That's the only explanation. He's farming while the Nexus burns. Those teammates are useless, Vanessa hissed, pacing the room. Can't they hold for 5 seconds? Support takes 3 seconds to arrive, I said calmly. Reaction time is everything. Tyler is playing on a 5-second delay because he's counting gold. You think you're untouchable just because you have fans? Vanessa spat. I think I'm untouchable because I'm good, I replied. And you? You're out of your depth. Vanessa laughed, a high-pitched, manic sound. You think the owner matters? By the time this match is over, I'll have enough leverage that he won't be able to touch me. You think you're special? I can blacklist you from every team in the league. Coach Miller looked at her sideways. Leverage? Blacklist? Something wasn't right. On screen, Tyler was 0-8. He looked like he was going to vomit. The camera zoomed in on his face. He was shaking. He was broken. The pressure had crushed him. The Titans grouped for the final push. Tyler misclicked, walked into the enemy team, and vanished. Game over. 2-2. The reverse sweep was happening. The internet was calling for an investigation. Match fixing was the #1 trend globally. The team came back looking shell-shocked. If we lost the next one, we would be the laughingstock of esports history. The reverse sweep meme would haunt us forever. Tyler saw Vanessa and started sobbing. I can't do it. Please don't make me go back out there. I can't breathe. Shut up. Vanessa grabbed him by the jersey. You have to. We have one more game. I don't want to play. Tyler screamed, sliding to the floor, curling into a ball. It's too much. Coach Miller stepped in. Vanessa, look at him. He's having a breakdown. We can't send him out like that. We have to put Caleb in. No. Vanessa screamed. He plays. Why? Coach yelled. Why are you doing this? Because I bet everything on it. Vanessa shrieked. The room went dead silent. What? I asked. She realized what she'd said. Her face drained of color. I bet my reputation. No, I said, standing up. You said you bet everything. You bet against us, didn't you? I mortgaged my condo, she muttered, her eyes wild. I leveraged everything. The odds on the Titans winning after being down 0-2 were astronomical. If we lose, if we win, I need us to lose. No, she was losing it. She looked down at Tyler and slapped him hard across the face. Crack. Get up, she screamed at the sobbing boy. You useless coward. I put everything on the line for us. Get out there and lose. I mean play. Tyler stared at her, cheek red, horrified. You bet against me? I bet on our future, she raved. Suddenly, the door flew open. A massive man in a dark suit walked in. It was Russo, the owner's head of security. Russo, I said, what are you doing here? Russo ignored me and walked straight to Vanessa. He held the phone up. Mr. Donovan, you heard that. Vanessa froze. Oh, who are you talking to? Russo put the phone on speaker. Mr. Donovan's voice, cold as ice, filled the room. I heard enough. Russo hung up. He stepped forward. Vanessa tried to back away. You're just a bodyguard. You can't. Russo didn't hesitate. He backhanded her. It wasn't a playful slap. It was a heavy, disciplined strike that knocked her flat onto the sofa. That was from the boss, Russo rumbled. You're fired. Effective immediately. You're to be detained until the authorities arrive. He turned to the coach. Coach Miller, you have full control. Kayla plays. The room exhaled. Tyler stayed on the floor, weeping, but he nodded. He was relieved. I zipped up my jersey and looked at my teammates. Let's go get my trophy. There was barely any time left in the break. Coach Miller drew up a quick plan. Caleb, do your thing. Everyone else, follow his lead. As we walked out of the tunnel, the crowd was restless, angry. But then the announcer's voice boomed. Substitution for Team Apex. Returning to the mid lane. Caleb Reed. The noise was deafening. It started as a rumble and turned into a roar. Applause, cheers, chanting my name. The energy shifted instantly. Game 5. The Silver Scrapes music played. I locked in my signature champion. The Titans looked nervous. They knew the free ride was over. From minute 1, I controlled the pace. I dominated the lane, solo killed their mid laner at level 3, and roamed bot. We dove the tower. Double kill. We took the dragon. The crowd was going berserk. Every move was crisp, calculated. My teammates, freed from the burden of carrying dead weight, played out of their minds. At 33 minutes, I made the call. Baron bait. Clear vision. We hid in the fog of war. The Titans face-checked the brush. I engaged. It was a slaughter. A clean ace. 5 kills, 0 deaths. End it, I yelled. We marched down the mid lane, smashing towers like they were made of glass. The Nexus exploded. Confetti cannons fired. The arena erupted. We were world champions. A few days later, Mr. Donovan flew in from Europe. He personally apologized to me in his office. It turned out Vanessa had a history of latching onto industry insiders. She manipulated her way into the GM role and, seeing the massive betting odds for a reverse sweep, tried to cash out on her own team's failure. She was facing federal charges for fraud and match fixing. She'd be in prison for a long time. Tyler Vance was questioned but released. His career was over, though. The footage of his gameplay and the revelation of his relationship with Vanessa made him unhireable. He vanished from social media. Mr. Donovan put a contract on the desk. Max salary, multi-year, no trade clause. I'm keeping the roster together, he promised. No more interference. I signed it. I didn't care about the drama or the money, really. I looked at the championship ring on my finger. I was ready for the next season. I didn't just want one trophy. I wanted a dynasty.